Greetings, my name's Jeffrey Evans, and I'm here to introduce you to Instant Author. In this short video, I'm going to go through and try to show you all of the features and demonstrate the creation of a book. So, going from the home page, I'm going to click the Start Writing Now. I'm already signed in. And what happens is the profile loads up. This is my profile. I'm going to take these menu items from left to right, top to bottom, show you every page except admin. You won't have this option. And then I'm going to go into each of them a bit deeper and show you how they're used. So we'll start with, we have the manual, and we have this both in a beautiful flip book, but we've also got this manual online. So if you wanted to know as an example about character management, you could click here and it will bring you down and give you the information about creating characters. Alright, let's back out of here. The next item on our list is books. If you click this, it shows you all the books that you have created, and from these books you can click on them. As an example, this affiliate marketing from soup to nuts. If you say here, you can download the book, or you can hit view book, and it will show you the chapters that have been generated for the book. And if you come over here and click back to profile, it takes you back to the menus. Important concept, everything always goes back to profile or one level up. Then we'll go have a look at outlines. And these are outlines of books that have already been created. And if you want to take an outline and you want to take it to a book, we go to edit the outline, and then we tell it to generate the book. We can also tell it to generate a sales page. We can download the outline as a document. If we download it as a Word doc, then we can turn around and offline edit it, get all of our thoughts together, and come back and edit the outline itself that's being used to create the book. So that's what that looks like. From here, I'm going to go back to profile. Then we have, this is a very interesting feature called characters. If you're writing fiction, what you can do is you can come in here and you can put your characters that you are putting into your story. And I was playing around with The Hobbit. I said, what if I wanted to create another volume of The Hobbit? And you can turn around and add your characters here. It's actually quite extensive, but kind of fun. And then with those characters, if I was creating a new character, it takes in a lot of information about them. It takes in basic information, their physical appearance, personality, background, and the character arc. As I said, I haven't seen any writing system that goes into the detail that this does. Okay, so from here I'm going to go back to profile, and I have a research section. So if we're doing writing that's a bit more serious, what we can do here is we can upload URLs, PDFs, or Word documents, or all of them multiple. And what happens is we can tell the outline to include these when it's generating, as the same as we tell it to add the characters when it's generating. What you can't do is add it after the fact. Alright, so I'm going to click cancel there, but these are all outlines for things that we have created. So let's go back to profile. I should say these are all pieces of research for things we've created. Back to profile. Then we have AI chat. Now, you may not have subscriptions to every platform. When I say every platform, I'm talking, you may not have subscriptions to both Anthropic and ChatGPT, but you do use their API keys. Well, what if you wanted to be able to query them or see what particular context may look like? What we did is we simply gave you the equivalent of a chat window here. So you can select what model you want to work with. You can turn around and set the temperature so you know what your creativity is. I'll describe the system prompt stuff. In this section, we really don't use this much. It's the basics right here that give you everything you can do in AI. But you could go in as an example and ask it to write another prompt for you. And I'll show you where you might want to do that. If you click Export Chat, it'll take all of the content of this window, your whole conversation, and it will download it into a Word document. All right, let's go back to Profile. And now Profile, the center of the system. What we have here is your display name, a place to change your password. This is where you put your API keys in. We mostly use the OpenAI and the Anthropic, but we've left it open so that we can use these others, some in the future, some now. Let's go a little further down. This is book defaults. When we get into generating a book, you're going to see there's a place where you get to select the model that you're going to use to write your book. Okay? And we can set what our default is here, but you can always change it when you get to book writing time. Default reading level. I default this here to middle school. 65% of the U.S. reads at or below a 6th grade level. Embarrassing, don't you think? Default word count target. I leave this at 100,000. Now, here's where some real interesting power comes in. We have what we call a default system prompt, and we have default additional instructions. Think of this as there are lots of different ways you can set up a prompt for writing a story. But I decided to put some expertise as a basic system prompt. So when you want to look at these, the easiest way to do it is to take them all the way to the top or to the bottom so that you can see them all. I'll take that all the way to the bottom, and here they are. So I have in here, let's see, I've got prompts for writing technical manuals, self-improvement books, science fiction, online marketing, advanced fiction, specialized course creation, this is still experimental, romance, health and wellness guides, relationship niche, historical analysis. Okay, this is kind of fun. I put in both the Blacklist and Star Trek because they're both off of the air. Their seasons have completely ended, series have ended. And I can take this and I can create my own additional episodes, so to speak. All right. General nonfiction, lead magnets, fiction, plus fairy tales and folklore and travel guides, gardening. Here's my Star Trek. So you see I have all sorts of expertises built in here. Now let's take a look at one of these so that you just have an idea. Let's go to, I'm going to open up the Star Trek. Let's see. And I'm going to copy this out of here. And let me go ahead and open up a Notepad++, and I'll just drop this in here so you can see it. So this says you're a seasoned Star Trek historian and storyteller, fully immersed in the lore, ethos, and stylistic nuances of the Star Trek universe. Draw from the Federation's ideals, the tapestry of interstellar diplomacy, and the complex moral challenges faced by diverse species. Craft a narrative or a set of them that reflects the spirit of exploration, the pursuit of knowledge, and the respect for life and cultural diversity. Begin by establishing a setting consistent with Star Trek canon, whether aboard a Federation starship, a starbase, or on a newly encountered planet. Introduce characters who embody Starfleet values, cooperation, curiosity, and ethical leadership. Include encounters with familiar species, Vulcans, Klingons, Cardassians, or introduce new ones that expand the universe, while maintaining logical consistency and technological plausibility. Weave in thematic dilemmas, diplomatic negotiations, first contact protocols, prime directive considerations that challenge the crew's integrity and growth. Balance science-driven problem solving, character development, and meaningful dialogue. The final narrative should not only entertain but also reflect the progressive ideals, morality, complexity, and boundless imagination that define Star Trek. Okay? So this is what it does with the series. It does a very similar thing for business experts in each of those niches that are there. And if you're in a niche that's not there, it's not a big deal at all. Simply go to the nonfiction plus and generate your story. Okay? So we set that up there. Now, here's where we can put additional instructions, and we can also do this on the book generation page. This is really cool. So if you have read anything written by AI, usually as soon as you look at it, you say, this was wrote by AI. It may be good writing, but it'll have these telltale signs, like ending a chapter with conclusion. You know, you say conclusion all over the place. That's an AI trait. I have a default additional instruction that I like to put in. I'm going to share it with you now. This is kind of cool. And this completely humanizes what it's writing for me. So I tell it, write in a friendly conversational style that feels spontaneous and genuinely human. Vary sentence length and structure, weaving in hints of personal insight or emotional perspective. Aim for a subtle use of common idioms or everyday expressions without overdoing them. Allow for small imperfections like occasional odd word choices or slightly meandering phrases to capture the unfiltered texture of real speech. Maintain a balanced reading level that offers substance without sounding stuffy or excessively formal. Maintain a balanced reading level that offers well, let's see if we can repeat ourselves. All right. Most importantly, avoid the telltale AI cues. Steer clear of overly polished summaries, repetitive transitions, or formulaic conclusions. All right. So this is how we keep the writing looking human. Now, what happens in the end is that when the outline is being created, it combines anything you put in research, which you don't have to, anything you put in characters, anything you designate from characters, and you don't have to. All right? It puts those together and it creates the outline. When you go to do the book, it takes what you set up as your system prompt and combines it with the additional instructions and all of the other information it's taken in, and I'll show you when we get to book, and creates the end product. All right. So we have gone through all of these areas at the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, let's go to outlines, and we're going to actually create an outline. One moment. So I'm going to click generate new outline, and I'm going to give it a book title. Let's see. Let's say online marketing in 2025. And for this is for choosing the genre. I'm going to choose nonfiction. Number of chapters, I'm going to keep it small. It's 20 chapters. You determine how long you want your book to be by how many chapters you put into it. I don't recommend really going over 50. You can put additional description about what you want to cover, and it will follow your lead in what it creates. But I've just said online marketing in 2025. Here is where I would go and add characters to the story, but I don't need characters. Or come here, and this is where I would add research, but I don't need research. So I'm not going to add it. Now, successful stories have, for the most part, followed less than 10 frameworks. And some of them you may be familiar with and some not. One you probably heard of is the hero's journey. If I was writing a story, I can come here and I can select the story template. And we have 7 of them that fit into our system very well. As you see, the hero's journey, save the cat, the 7-point story structure, those are all here. But we're not going to use one for this. But it will turn around and set up your outline, your characters, everything within the story framework. Okay. Then we say, what AI model do we want to use? Okay, and we have whole bunches to choose from. I'm going to use this ChatGPT 4.0 latest. When you're just learning the system, you're playing around, I recommend you use 4.0 mini. It's the cheapest. Then you come over here to the temperature. If it's nonfiction, I will go with 0 or 0.1. The higher you set this, and it goes all the way up to 0.9, the more creative, the more it hallucinates, the more it makes things up. More important for fiction than nonfiction. Okay, so I'm going to click Generate Outline, and we'll give it just a minute here. In all of these, it'll say generating until it doesn't, and then you know it's done. This one, it's kind of very obvious. So you see that there were no characters added. There was no research materials added. Here's the outline content, the outline that's created. And you see that there are 20 chapters set up. Okay. Now, when it asked you what else you wanted to put into this, you had there was an option for adding additional information. If you simply went to AI and you asked it to create you an outline, and you really liked what it did, it was outside the book system, you could put that in here and it would turn around and use that outline. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate the book, and this screen comes up. Let's give it just a moment. Okay. So you see it carried the title and the genre over, and the reading level, and the word count. All of this stuff that was set up as presets. I don't have to keep it here, so this is GPT 4.0 Mini, right? I do a lot of testing. So I test under Mini because it's cheap. But to write this, I'm going to go ahead and say I want you to use the full 4.0 OpenAI model. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because OpenAI contacted me and said, and this was just for my API keys, they said, if you'll let us use your data for until February 28th, we'll give you 1 million tokens a day. I said, I'll take it. All right. So here is, it's appropriate for what we're doing. Here's the online marketing has been chosen as the system prompt. And I always leave this additional instructions the same. And I'm going to click Generate the book. Now, when this goes through and generates, it is not ultra fast. because it reads the outline and generates one chapter at a time, and then it moves to the next chapter. And I did that so that we have a large enough context. Otherwise, if you try to generate a long book in one fell swoop without breaking up the chapters, without generating them individually, then the further you get from the start, the more it hallucinates at the end. So you see this is now generated 1 out of 20 chapters. We can come here and see some of the other, all right, 2 chapters are done. Now, I recommend you not bounce around while this is going, but you can. So I'm going to go back to books. Okay. And that will eventually show up here. Let's see if anything's here yet. Okay, here it is. Online marketing in 2025. It tells you it's still generating, and it's done 3 of 20 chapters. When it's done, I can go and view the book, but it's going to be a view where it's going to show me at a chapter at a time, or I can simply click on this and it's going to give me my Word docs file format. And I'll show you what that looks like when we get there. I'm going to pause this recording rather than make you wait for all 20 of these chapters. It says 11:43 p.m. We'll see how long they took to finish. Okay, so I don't know, what's it been? About 8-9 minutes. We're at 19 out of 20 chapters are done. Let's wait for the last one. There it is. We're finished. Okay. I'm going to tell you something that's kind of interesting. My team and I developed this application, but I don't even know all the things it can do. I learn new things all the time that I can do with this. And I'm going to show you something. First, let me go ahead and download this book. And here's the book, and I'm just going to say, show in the folder, and I'll come back to this in a moment. Okay. One of the advantages to the way this has been done is that by having these characters the way we do, click back to profile and we'll go here to characters, is let's say that you wanted to write a series. You wanted to write a storyline where you had part 2, part 3, part 4. You could keep coming back and using those same characters over and over again. All right? So it really is built to handle everything from the lead magnet to full-blown fiction novels. All right? And what it outputs is it outputs a Word document file. There were different formats we could have used, but I went with the Word document file, and we've got a couple macros that go through that I use to clean them up and get them into the format that we want them in. I'll show you what the format they come in looks like. Let's see here. And this is one we just created. open with Word. And so we get this Word document here, right? Okay. And this is only about 10,500 words. Now, let me go out of this, and I'm going to show you what we do after we run a couple of macros to do the automatic cleanup. When I say cleanup, getting rid of extra spaces, things that shouldn't be there, things you don't want in your final product. I'll minimize that. Let me get rid of this. I'm over here. All right, here we go. This is a manual we put together for Instant Author, and we put it in a flip book. Okay? This wasn't developed by our system, I'm just showing you this. It's all very well documented now. Let's go to another one. Here's a book we did on technical marketing. This was done by the system. We used AI to generate the images. This particular book comes out to 118 pages. Here's the deal. Our entire work on this book and a whole bunch of others that we did is less than 2 hours a piece. I say that because I have a couple of workers who are working on it, and each of them produced 4 for the day. Okay. All right. And that's it. That is the most powerful automated authoring system that I have seen to date. And with that, thank you for your attention. And you can find our offer at Insta, INSTA, author.com. Instaauthor.com. Show you what the page looks like so you know you're in the right place. Once you get to that's not where I want to be. Once you get there, you can hit the learn more, and it'll take you to our sales page, which will give you, I won't say it's more detail, but it'll give you the details in writing of what we have. Okay. And with that, take care.